my walk to caps lock. Just like shift everything up, like just one
See,
key.
I use C for crouch, so there it is.
A lot of video games actually have C for crouch. I think it's fine. I've seen worse. There are people who use right click to jump.
Mental, absolutely mental scenes.
That's what people use in Quake though, but it's a whole different game altogether. But here we go. FaZe winning their second buy in a very, very clean fashion. And we even have the upgrade coming in for Mr. Brokey. Now, Man2 is the man I'm going to be keeping an eye out on here. Flames and Neofrag has already had a great start, but Man2 was the difference maker. This T-side off from him was so instrumental in some of these clutch situations and going a bit of combat opping as well coming out from him. So if you can recreate this against FaZe, things get interesting. Contact play. Oh, the flash is brilliant. Man2 wasn't blinded, but Neofrag was so white. And Carrigan, 2 easy kills for him.
Yeah, he also lined up. I mean, it was such a beautiful timing on FaZe. And this is where that kind of research, watching over the demos, getting an idea for OG's behavioral patterns could very well come to the forefront. Those kind of plays, those kind of opportunistic flash peaks. We saw Carrigan in that pistol round getting a flash and getting the aggression, getting the kill off the back of it. Now, Rops gets the headshot, but actually is sprawled out, and that puts more pressure on Brokey. And of course, he's going to pass the first kill fairly comfortably. And that puts Fiku in an awkward spot. And still, they need to traverse the bomb over here. They need to cross it onto the site. If it was in the hands of Fiku, he could go for this straight-up plant. But because it wasn't, and it was Nexa that was carrying it from main, there will be no plant. And only 1 kill, plus AK's trading hands. FaZe bouncing back into this half.
I love that little play from Twist as well, right? Like the target selection, the moment he knows the shot was missed from Nexa, he immediately pushes on ahead to isolate the frag on towards Fiku, because Fiku was tagged and that was confirmed damage and Rob sort of conveyed information to him. So just clean shots there from Twist. And FaZe, yeah, a couple of rounds back to back looking good, and they've finally broken the money here for OG. So already OG facing stiffer resistance than they did yesterday against Entropic, but still early days and still have a 2-round lead, mind you.
Yep, that is a solid point to raise, that OG, even though they're on the back foot, still to be relatively happy with this. And although the narrative was how crushing they were on their T side in their previous game against Entropic, they won 16-7. Their CT side was fine as well. I will put the caveat in, though, that they did win both pistol rounds against Entropic, which is always going to give you a massive advantage against anyone on the world on any map. This is going to be a shooting gallery, and it's going to be a massacre, and it's Twists and it's Rops that lay OG to rest. However, it was a full eco, but it's just about nailing in where you can. That deficit now down to just 1.
And you got to remember as well, off the majority of the rounds that OG won was off the pistol, the anti-ecos, right? So 4 of those rounds were, if I'm not mistaken, against the half buys and the pistol. So the buy rounds, FaZe have looked pretty solid. The sequence of rounds they have here, just look at the money. Average of about 5K, or close to 6 actually in 4 of the players. So they're looking pretty solid here, despite a bit of a rough start. Smoke going to give away Carrigan's position. If he peeks out, Nexa is going to pop his head, but the Flames will force him out from the boost.
Good damage to Nexa early on, dropping to 29 off a HE and some wall bang damage on Rain. So this hit and run style is put OG down to just 2 smokes, 2 flashes. Plenty of AKs, but when you have 1 minute and 20 left on the clock, and you know that FaZe are certainly no strangers to getting aggressive on their CT sides. We've seen it throughout this tournament, throughout the last few months. It will be in the back of their minds. Mid also completely vacated, and with 2 players up in red, if a call should come through that B site is being hit on, they can very quickly rotate 1 player on the back and 1 player up down mid, if they so choose. Flashbang for the peak, and OG still clambering desperately for just any kind of real estate here on the map. Now they're starting to move in on the B site, though.
Look at Rops. Look at timing Rops finds. He's pushing on in through A hall. So now FaZe can commit 3 or maybe even 4 members on his B bomb site as Brokey spots the shoulder, and he's going to find Neofrag.
Yeah, OG, they were too slow. They just didn't really do enough to get FaZe interested here and push them and probe them in awkward positions. And this is the end result. A complete and utter devastation of a round. FaZe get their 5th without losing a player. And you mentioned before, the average sort of money across the board was 5,000 to 6,000. Well, that's just spiked significantly after keeping all 5 players alive.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, for I'm still marveling at how that innate sense of timing from Robs, right? He was playing that off angle inside of A-Halt for so very long. And you said it, Vince, the rotation would have still been very quick from Red Room for FaZe. But the fact that he pushes out near T-Spawn towards the elbow position allows FaZe to already set up the crossfire. And then carrying an Indian as well, just running on out and just mauling the final two players as Twist. This one's a shooting gallery for the Canadian. Runs out of bullets at the very end, but that's all right. Robs and Rain are there to finish off the job. And FaZe, they make it clean. 5 in a row right now for the side of FaZe Clan.
And also going back, because obviously we were casting this game between OG and Entropic on Ancient. One aspect that definitely helped OG on their T side, not just that Man2 was popping off and he's not had that same level of performance. Then again, let's be honest, FaZe, no disrespect to Entropic, they're a much better team than Entropic are individually and as a team. So that was never really likely to happen twice in a row. But additionally, they kept Entropic's CT side constantly on the rocks. They constantly had like $2,000-3,000 on a couple players. They were forcing out sort of MP9s. There was a lack of utility. The fact that FaZe early on have stabilized and got themselves rock solid finances means just there's no easy way to break them down at this point. You're going to have to get them 2 or 3 rounds in a row. And even then, it's FaZe with Deagles, with lower investments, they're going to be pretty solid as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And even the way FaZe is setting up on these bomb sites, primarily towards B, it's very different from the way Entropic were, right? Entropic just had 2 players who were playing all the way at the back of Q. FaZe are much more forward positioned as Twist is getting his position with utility. So the 3T's lying in wait. The flash is brilliant, though. Is Twist gonna check? Yes, he is. But Nexa finds him first.
Important to at least take down Twist in the process. But now Man2 needs to deal with Rain. He is exceptionally low. On 1 HP, a bullet anywhere, and he is a goner. But he manages to duck underneath and survive, pulls back to the cave. Oh, that's ridiculous. And OG needed that frag because now he can position and watch the B site, which allows Karrigan to play up close in this angle. Neo frag's been solid today, but Karrigan is up to the task.
Karrigan's been looking pretty solid here on the CT side. Just coming out on top of a lot of these duels. The repeat, though, he could be punished, but no, Karrigan, second one for him. And there's no way Man2 can trade. Bomb's been dropped. Now, Man2 has a lot of time to work with it. He was a hero in the previous game, but this might be too much to ask. You can see them slowly triangulating on his position, and Robs from behind will finish him off. 7-5 now. And okay, the money is absolutely out of control for FaZe. All 5 players over 10k. Karrigan just had over 10k, but he had to rebuy his gun. But still, this is a ludicrous place that FaZe find themselves in, economically speaking. And even in this half, it feels like such a long time ago where OG were, what, 5-1 up, and then FaZe, they've just gone into 5th gear and they're shutting this one down.
Yeah, 3-0 after the pistol. Then FaZe came back, and then 2 more rounds. They're going to go for an aggressive hit here. Karrigan this time can get 1, actually 2 from the grave. He will burn Fiku alive. Rain will be disappointed he didn't come out ahead in that trade. He had Man2 dead to rights, but instead it will be a post plant. Now keep in mind that there's not a huge amount in terms of grenades. In fact, there's absolutely nothing, so they may go in for some kind of an aggressive peek here. The spray through the boxes is good. Nearly nullifies Nexa. He's on 35. Man2 with a boost up over. Tries to spray. Bit of damage inflicted. That HE is going to be money, though. Oh, it's a double dunk. And Neo Frag's also going to take shrapnel. Now, do they realistically expect all 3 of the players to be in the same angle? They're going to find that out firsthand. And with the kits, they're going to have enough time. It's a really solid effort from OG, all things considered. But FaZe just had too much up their sleeve.
Oh, Vince, if they didn't have the nade there, it could have gotten a little spicy for OG. One of the players was really whittled down the boost, actually dealing quite a bit of damage, and Brokey had just the AWP, so this nade just might have saved FaZe there. Great triple kill from Brokey on the retake. And sure, OG, they deal a bit of damage, they're able to get the bomb down, but they need a few rounds. They were 10-5 on the T side against Entropic yesterday, but right now it's seemingly they've hit a wall.
And that FaZe wall is impenetrable. OG can try pulling out the sledgehammers, the tools, and everything, but ultimately, FaZe are just too strong. And Rops is pushing in. Now, this could be into the arms of Man2. We've seen these kind of aggression plays happen before. Man2 has a nade out. He couldn't see Rops. The arm was
Oh.
blocking his vision. That's so brutal.
That's a classic CSGO moment right there. I mean, and even if Rob's in check, the moment he throws a smoke, it's going to give a sound cue. He was dead. He was going to be dead. But at least he would have thrown the smoke there. Ventus Carrigan, he's been such a nuisance in his ramp position, and he's going to escape as well.
Rain nearly doubles up. And Flame's last man standing, 48 HP separates him and his demise. Flash is good, but he can't really follow up that damage. Spray down onto Brokey, gets a second as well. On 5 HP, he had a very small chance, but that has been ripped away from the Estonian contingent of FaZe, and that will be 8 rounds in a row now to FaZe.
8 in a row. Jeez, and OG have only gotten the bomb down once, which was the light purchase when they had pistols, and just the timing. That is just so unfortunate. And this is something we didn't see much yesterday against OG from Entropic, right? When this consistent re-aggression on the extremities of the map, and most of the time it's not even dry as well. There's a lot of utility being deployed too. Just look at how Carrigan's been assisted so many times by the flashbangs from Rain, from Brokey. Flash is, again, so good, and Carrigan almost finding Nexa. He's getting really eager here. 20 bullets still to work with in the magazine. He's going to push on ahead. There's no one with him.
Smoke up in the smoke, but Neofrag had the right read, and Rain has been sprayed down. Multiple players on both sides are pretty low right now. 3 players are on the 15 HP mark, and Neofrag, one of them, has now been finalized by Brokey's ult. Rotation around the back, double spray from Carrigan, and that's the bomb that goes with it on Donut. And FaZe were looking a little bit shaky in this round, but they have once again just planted their feet in the ground, and they refuse to go down. This will be 9 rounds in a row and a 10-5 half, and that is exactly what